Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Monday, August 7, 2023. I find myself in the book of James this week, and so therefore we find ourselves in the book of James this week, at least today. Sometimes I do this thing where I'm like, all week I'll talk about this certain band of verses on RadCast, and then by Tuesday I've already moved on to something else. So I really shouldn't commit to anything, which I'm seriously just realizing now connects with what we need to talk about, so that's pretty exciting. Watch this. This is James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. We'll see if we get that far. Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogant schemes. All such boasting is evil. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. And that's the word of the Lord. Okay, so first things first, as a parent, I am, and Brittany and I together are always trying to teach our kids, especially our older boys, about thinking about the future. The decisions you make today will have a profound impact tomorrow. We ourselves think about the future. We think, how will we maintain and sustain a retirement in our retirement years? Mine will come before hers. We think about planning for the fall. We think about vacations. We think about holidays. We think about senior pictures. Brittany thinks about all these things. She's a genius when it comes to the long-term planning stuff and strategizing. And we work really hard to do these things. And we should, right? We should be wise with our planning. And yet, you stumble across something like this where James asks you, he really gets in your face and he says, what is your life? Meaning, you are not a big deal. You are a mist. You're here for a little while and then you're gone. Can you imagine if you could hear mist? Like if somehow a body of mist had a voice, it'd be like, hey, everybody. Well, see you later. And that would be it. The wind would blow it away. It'd be over like that. That's kind of how our life is. It doesn't seem that way to us. It seems like we're just going to kind of go on forever and ever, but we know better. That's why funerals are so shocking. You know, we sit there and we go, how could this have even happened? Well, it just reveals in us that we really do assume that the way it is now is the way it will always be. We know deep down that's not true, but that's not a fun thought. So we just sort of push it back like a mist, just push it back. And we move on with our lives. And it shocks us. I don't mean to surprise you, but someday I'll be gone. Someday you'll be gone. Unless Jesus comes back and kind of turns the tables on all of us, which would be a welcome thing, no doubt about it. But for today, James says, listen, you're a mist. You don't even know what's going to happen. What is your life? One of the things that the scripture is really clear about is that we are temporary people. We just don't know what it is to really live eternally. We're created as eternal beings, but we don't understand eternity. And the psalmist puts it really well. This is Psalm 39:4. Show me, Lord, my life's end and the number of my days. Meaning, I don't get this. You need to even help me get a scope for what my temporary life on earth is like compared to eternity. He says, let me know how fleeting my life is. You have made my days a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing before you. Handbreadth, the space between here and here. That's our life. What is my life? It's a mist. It's a handbreadth. It's here today. It's gone tomorrow. So at least for today, we remember the temporary nature of our lives. And that for us, it can be, that doesn't mean it is, but it can be very arrogant for us to make bold plans and predictions about the future, especially without considering, one, our temporary nature, and two, the goodness, mercy, and will of God. Maybe we should talk about that tomorrow. But for today, I just have a question for the comments. You can keep this thing moving. Are there times in your life where you realize life is short? I stumbled across a picture of my grandma and grandpa June, and they're like semi-black and white pictures, and they're in these little, two little heart-shaped little wooden frames, and there's Bill and there's Ardith, and long before any of us. And I think to myself, in some ways that seems ancient, but when I was a kid, it seemed ancient, but now as an adult, I'm like, that really wasn't that long ago. These moments where you go, man, I'm temporary. Life goes by quick. Do you ever have those moments? Would you share an example of that? Help us learn from your wisdom. And this wisdom can strike at any age. Old people know it. Young people know it. Cam will be like, just yesterday I was, pooping my pants and now I don't, whatever. Maybe he doesn't say that. I don't know, but maybe that's not even a good example, come to think of it. we are all but missed. Anyway, that's RadCast.